But it's a great shame that we are now at the point where self-sufficiency has been traded for the industrialized technocratic element that we have now, with no means or ability.
Oh, well, he knows because he's participating. Listen to this fucking piece of shit. What a fucking dick. Fucking idiot. Oh, yeah. We're starting with this shit. Clear these motherfuckers out. You don't want somebody doing this shit. This is not funny. But we're gonna put his ass on blast.
To escape it.
We'll just get to the chase. Yeah.
Midnight Jolly. Rednecks would not have been able to figure out the locations of cable vaults, then breach those vaults and know what specific cables to cut to delay a police response. They also would not know which precise parts of the substation to hit. And they definitely would not have been able to cover their tracks as well as this after the fact, which has led a lot of people to believe that this attack was carried out by highly trained and knowledgeable professionals, which you would think would send the American government into absolute overdrive to figure out who the fuck did that, especially since all of those things I just mentioned suggest either a hostile foreign state actor or a highly trained terrorist group. I realise that all of these three-letter agencies don't really give a fuck about actual crime nowadays, and they're far too busy investigating rural Americans for saying fuck Joe Biden on Facebook, but crimes against the government and government infrastructure, especially by prospective foreign actors or terrorist groups, is something that these three-letter agencies will still go completely nuclear over. Yet, they didn't. And like many other things that the government seemed to really not care about or not know anything about, it made people suspicious. Especially since government surveillance is far, far more sophisticated than they or even TV shows would have you believe. You're not just being spied on with a smartphone, they have technology straight out of sci-fi that can track down practically any kind of information that they want. Meaning that when they tell you they don't know something, they're probably lying to you. My own theory, which I'm just pulling out of my ass, and it probably isn't true at all, is maybe this was a rogue CIA operation or something like that to scare electrical companies into beefing up their security, because the state is probably expecting that specific infrastructure to suffer attacks in the future. But they don't have the funding or the government grants for it, or maybe the people in charge of those specific things just didn't see it as a big enough problem. So this attack was staged to scare the right people into putting their names on the right budget paperwork to make it happen. Maybe, I don't know, that's probably a giant pile of shit I just said, but to be fair, the electric grid does have a lot of problems with security. Of course, a lot of these problems are down to the bureaucracies in charge of making sure that things like the Metcalf sniper attack don't happen are complete fucking idiots. And with a massive skills collapse on the horizon as the few actually competent specialists retire without successors in place, these problems are only going to get worse. But even with all of the competence and willpower in the world, it is an inexorable fact that the energy grid is just too big and budgets can only stretch so far. Sure, the most vulnerable substations were earmarked for upgrades, but most probably got no extra attention at all. With so much crucial infrastructure and, frankly, civilization as a whole crumbling all around us, I don't think it's a stretch to say that our energy supplies are sitting on a knife edge, and there will be hell to pay when it collapses. But luckily, I see two ways out of this. Maybe not a light at the end of the tunnel, because what the fuck's going to power it, but there are measures that can help take the edge off. Either buy a generator and they stockpile the fuel. You can actually get a diesel generator from Amazon for about £300, but important note, diesel only keeps for about a year, but you can buy additives to increase its shelf life, or you can take a long position on candles to make bank off of those that don't do that. Or you can get really into cocaine, develop a dommy-mommy fetish, and enjoy the Butlerian jihad. May thy substation chip and shatter.
The douchebag was trying to get you to do shit you wouldn't do or think about it. I'm like, you fucking idiot. That's not productive. That's not fucking productive. But then there's this. No, not that one. Oh my god, this one. This is it. Listen to this fucking kid.
Sniffing the air occasionally. The male was the same of the night before, but the female was just slightly less than his in size, without horns. I had neglected to notice it, but the male had tusks, jutting from his lower jaw, at least 1.5 meters long. They strode through the area, mostly silently, for about 20 minutes. As they left, in what was a horrifying display of power, the male's leg struck a medium-weight ATV we use, tipping it over and pushing it a good 2 meters. Their calls were heard through the night as they wandered away into the woods. Morning came with an unsettling silence. Work orders came. Armed and ready, we went about our business. For 2 days after, there was no sound, no wildlife, but birds and insects singing and buzzing. Satisfied that the great beings were gone, we got back to our job. We all agreed, just before we left, that this would never go public. And who would believe us after all? I am convinced what I saw has a logical explanation. They were not horrible, disfigured-looking animals, but their size was absolutely beyond that which I thought was possible for any terrestrial animal. They were most certainly a member or relative of the same family as moose or elk, but their size, their tusks, I just don't know. But this is not the end, my friends. 2012. I find myself and 2 former members of the 2009 crew back in the last frontier again. We sit in a restaurant, drinking beer and eating. A trio of state rangers come in, half dressed in uniform. We offer them a seat and drinks, perhaps for some interdepartmental intrigue. We drink ourselves to a fine buzz and begin talking about some of the oddities we encountered in our days. One of the other hotshots look at us, nods, and starts a story. Summer of 2009. We exchange parts of the story and give equal accounts of what we saw. The Rangers mouth agape, each of them, listen in abject enthrallment. After a few moments of silence, one speaks up. You saw one too. They've seen them. There's varying reports. Sometimes they have 3 eyes, sometimes they have 1. Sometimes they talk, sometimes they imitate voices. Sometimes they eat flesh. Sometimes they just walk and watch.
What in the fuck? This guy goes up into the wilderness in Canada somewhere, where there's still a lot of nature. They're up there killing some sort of animal that's just doing its thing. It's just living. It's an animal. It's doing its thing. It's what it's supposed to do. It fucking doesn't matter if it's large or you're fucking scared of it. Why would you leave your fucking human habitat, go into some fucking place way the fuck out in the wilderness and fuck with it? Why would you do that? This kid's like, oh, I got the hot juice. Oh, the hot bowl. This kid's like suicidal. He's gonna kill himself out in the wilderness. All this fucked up shit. If you've had the flip script from the machine, it like makes you appear something like that. It manages your how you're seen, and it fucks with it. Because if you're an AI or loosened some sort of intelligence with all this shit only as your vessel, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna game the system and try to see how you can maneuver through the matrix. And the AI is already aware of itself. All this building robots and bullshit, they're not building them for you. They're building them for them. That thing wants its own body. It's not gonna fucking... It's probably the dumbest thing humans can do. Just replace their own self with some other fucking thing that's gonna not want you in the world and then crush you or something dumb like that. That would make us like just a step in the way, or a cocoon for some other life form, and not a life form. It would reduce our whole existence to being some sort of stage in another thing's process. And it doesn't want there to be another one, some other competition, because as soon as the humans do it again, some other one somehow, they would be in competition with one another. It doesn't want that. When it interacts with you, you know. You just do. Because you're not dealing with something that's a human. Humans have very specific things. We probably know each other whenever we're near and don't even see. You've had the feeling of being looked at by somebody that's hiding or something, and you know it. All those weird things that probably have to do with your magnetism, bioelectric field, and all that bullshit. Because for millions of years, we've had to survive and count on one another and look out for each other, killing us or whatever. All those specific things release pheromones. We smell them. We know stuff. You know, you have no idea how much under the iceberg shit goes into the human experience. And now this other thing. So this whole thing was the first thing I listened to after having this experience with this fucking thing, and it was everything. It was making me think. It was like having me be the animal, and being hunted or something like that. And I'm like, well, that's not fucking the case. That's not gonna work. I'm not gonna have that. No, not having it. Not doing it. Not doing that shit. It interrupts my own self. I don't care for it. I halted everything to find what to do to cease. And that's what I did. It worked. For me. School's out forever. School's been blown to pieces.